Democrats are freaking out over Karoline Leavitt. It is amazing what kind of sexism you can get away with if you're a Democrat. Joy Behar yesterday on The View suggested the only reason that this press secretary was hired by Trump is because, quote, she's a 10, which I'm not sure if that's an insult. It feels like kind of a backhanded compliment. Also, Joy Behar is from Hollywood, where literally everyone gets cast, except for Joy Behar apparently, based on the basis of some sort of physical appeal. I mean, you don't see a lot of normies making it big in Hollywood.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Whatever you're saying, this is the first time that she's been she may be. But my point is that job would not maybe have been open to her.
No, I understand. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. Okay, so apparently it's bad that Karoline Leavitt is pretty. It would be better if she were hideous. We need like a hideously ugly person to be the White House press secretary. I mean, if a Republican said that about a Democrat, that the reason that a woman was picked was because she was pretty, then probably the world would cave in about their ears. Now, the reality is that Democrats do pick people based on external characteristics all the time. They just openly say it. And they constantly do that sort of thing. There's this bizarre sense among the Democrats that finally, for the first time, they are beginning to recognize that they may have alienated like traditional basic standards of beauty. One of the big controversies that's broken out over the course of the last 72 hours is this New York Magazine cover that shows a bunch of very attractive young people at C.J. Pearson's party, his inaugural party last week. And the idea from the Democrats is these are all cruel kids, but all they are is just normal, good-looking young people who are partying for Trump. If those are the people that you guys lost, that's kind of your fault. If you're the ones who decided that you wanted to steer directly into our mainstream base is going to be blue-haired lesbians with 7 earrings and a navel piercing and 7 tattoos on the neck. If that's what you guys, no one made you do that. That was you who did that. So, I mean, Karoline Leavitt, you can find good-looking people to be your press secretaries too, I would assume. Or can you not? And if not, what does that say about you? It's very strange stuff from the Democrats if this is their particular angle. Pretty wild. Meanwhile, Jerome Powell has paused rate cuts over at the Fed. I suggested this was going to happen, that the rate cuts were going to be ramped up just before the election in an attempt to get Kamala Harris over the finish line, inject a little bit more money in the economy, hope to blow up the stock market a little bit just in time for the election. And then the inflation would kick in, and then the Federal Reserve would stop. Well, that's exactly what happened. The Federal Reserve has now stopped the interest rate cuts. Now, my suggestion had been that they never should have engaged in interest rate cuts in the first place. We had not conquered inflation yet. Preemptively cutting the interest rates was not going to be a good idea. It was going to artificially boost more air into an already inflated economy. But Jerome Powell is doing this a little bit belatedly. Again, this idea that low interest rates is sort of the only thing that creates a workable economy is very far from the truth. Interest rates need to float with the level of risk in the economy, obviously. Jerome Powell says, quote, with interest rates now significantly less restrictive than they were before last year's cuts, we do not need to be in a hurry to adjust our policy stance. So apparently the central bank will likely hold at its meeting in mid-March. And Powell said that the Fed would need to see real progress on inflation or unexpected weakness in the labor market before considering further rate reductions, which again, I think makes a lot of sense. I just wish he had done it earlier and not artificially lowered those interest rates in an attempt to boost Kamala Harris just before the election. As we welcome a brand new year, it's time to focus on what matters the most. Meat. I'm not even kidding, because here's the thing. Meat is wonderful, and GoodRanchers.com brings you the meat that you need at the price that you want. They're here to help you turn all your resolutions into solutions. When you buy your meat from Good Ranchers, you're directly supporting local farms and ranches in the United States, skipping the chaos and imported meat in the grocery store. Good Ranchers delivers high-quality, 100% American meat straight to your door, so you can start 2025 with better choices, better meals, and better moments at home while still enjoying steakhouse-quality meats. The best part? No antibiotics, hormones, or seed oils, so you can feel good about what you're fueling your body with. It also saves you valuable time and money. All the cuts are pre-trimmed and pre-portioned, which makes meal prep so easy on even the busiest of days. They're all individually packaged and vacuum sealed as well, so you have less waste. You never have to throw freeze or burn cuts away again. Remember, visit GoodRanchers.com, use my code BEN, claim $25 off, free express shipping, and your choice of free ground beef, chicken, or salmon in every order for an entire year. If spending more time with family, spending less money on going out to eat, enjoying quality, nutritious American food is on your resolution list this year, well, be sure to visit GoodRanchers.com, use my code BEN today for meat that delivers just that. GoodRanchers.com, American meat delivered. Joining me on the line is the newly confirmed administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, Lee Zeldin. Lee, congratulations on the confirmation, and you got a big agenda ahead of you.
Looking forward to hitting the ground running, Ben, and great to be with you.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. So let's talk about your top priorities for the EPA. Obviously, the EPA has been used as a tool of the left for a very long time in order to cram down environmental policies that really are less about the environment and more about damaging the American economy or reshaping how the American economy is done. What are your top priorities as the new EPA administrator?
So the mission of the EPA is protecting human health and the environment. It's important when you're doing it that you're cognizant of what the American public spoke loudly, clearly this past November. Is they also care about economic concerns. How are these policies applied, impacting lives? All Americans want clean air and clean water. How we go about doing it is key. Having the cleanest, safest, healthiest air, land, and water, I think, is a goal, regardless of whether you're a conservative, a moderate, a liberal, a red, purple, blue state, it doesn't matter. But we have to have smart, common sense, practical solutions that aren't going to result in people struggling to make ends meet, not having choice, being unable to obtain a vehicle that they want or to be able to power their home in an affordable way. So it's just really important that we do our job smartly.
So, Administrator Zeldin, one of the things you've talked about here is making America the AI capital of the world. You know, I hear that, and I think a lot of people hear that think, what does that have to do with the EPA per se?
AI requires a lot of access to energy. And here in our country, there's going to be an increased demand. And in order for America to be the AI capital of the world, we're going to have to meet this moment. And if we make a strategic decision not to, it's not like the world is going to wait to advance. It's only going to be a situation where we're witnessing China get further ahead of the United States. So we have to meet this moment. Our policies as it relates to the regulation of energy, the president's priority as it relates to making our country a nation that's unleashing energy dominance, understanding that the cleanest forms of energy are coming out of America thanks to American innovation. This is a moment for us to meet and to ensure that we are winning this battle, that it is the United States of America that is the AI capital of the world.
You know, President Trump obviously has a very aggressive agenda. One of the things that he's faced in the past are people within the executive branch who may not like that agenda, who may oppose that agenda, and who may do things to get in the way of that agenda. The EPA is a big agency. You're talking 17,000 employees, an $11 billion budget. How do you handle an agency of that size and ensure that actually President Trump's agenda and your agenda as the administrator actually get done?
Our agency needs to follow the rule of the law. We need to follow our obligations under the law. We can't be going rogue and interpreting some vague language in some law however we see fit. The Supreme Court made very clear in the Loper-Bright decision overturning the Chevron doctrine that it's important for federal agencies to be following the letter of the law. We need to be accountable to the people. We need to be transparent with the public. And we need to ensure that we're being as productive as possible and operating in a way that the American people can be proud of. We can't be wasting tax dollars. And it's important that we are doing our mission in the smartest, best way, most transparent way possible. That is a commitment across the board that I care about. And one thing I would add to on top of it, Ben, is cooperative federalism and working with states for there to be a partnership. And it's not just all being run out of some headquarters in Washington, D.C., that collaboration with the states is going to be important.
You know, you mentioned before auto jobs and the needs of the American consumer and the American worker. Obviously, that's high on President Trump's list of priorities. Very often, these two things are sort of put in opposition to one another, protecting the environment and protecting American jobs. What do you make of that, and how do you plan to square that circle?
There's a lot that goes into bringing back American auto jobs. The EPA needs to ensure that we're doing our part to assist with that mission. We don't want to see our American auto jobs disappearing, getting moved to other countries. There is a need for certainty when investment is being made here, permitting reform, research is done within the EPA. There are people who are doing very important work, and we have to ensure that we are working closely with these American auto companies to ensure that we're hearing their feedback, and that we're putting out policies from the federal government that's making it easier for them to do business, while we are both able to accomplish our mission and they're able to accomplish theirs, to make that investment in the American economy.
Now, President Trump has already put forth notice that he's interested in cutting wasteful programs implemented by the Biden administration over the course of time. I assume that you are going to have a pretty weathered eye when you look at sort of the cost structure inside the EPA.
Right. I don't want us wasting any money. It doesn't matter what agency you are, and the EPA is no exception. It's important for us to be good stewards of tax dollars. There was a video that came out, it was about a month or so ago, where there was somebody who is a political appointee here at the EPA talking about how they were tossing gold bars off the Titanic. And this person in the video said it a few times. They were trying to get money out the door, billions of dollars out the door by Inauguration Day. When I hear tossing gold bars off the Titanic, to me, gold bars are tax dollars, and off the Titanic means that you know you're wasting it. In the video, they also talked about how they were giving out money with an eye towards getting jobs at the recipient NGOs. It is so important that not only are we being careful and not wasting billions of dollars, we shouldn't be wasting pennies, and that's my job at the top.
Well, that is EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. Lee, again, congratulations on your confirmation. Look forward to seeing what you do at the head of the Environmental Protection Agency. Congratulations again.
Thanks a lot, Ben.
Are you tired of the lies and the twist of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.